For this project, which is project 9.1 on your Canvas page, it comes from this lesson 8 on your workbook, which has written instruction. If you follow that, you should be able to complete this drawing as well. And then we finish the drawing, we will add dimensions. We learn how to set the AutoCAD dimension settings and properly dimension based on dimensioning standards. So let's begin AutoCAD with our regular template that we have been using, and start your drawing with a circle on the lower left corner. Circle, you can select the radius and center option and start the center by left click on a point, approximately position I'm showing here, and type the radius of 0.5. After that, you will repeat this command by pressing Enter key and type using the relative coordinate system, using the @ sign, giving X dimension, which would be 1.125, separated by comma for the Y direction, which is given 1.875. So XY of the center point for the next circle is defined precisely. Now we are going to enter the radius for this one, which is 1.25, and press Enter to complete. Repeating the same command by pressing Enter key. This time for X direction, I would type relative coordinate system using the @ symbol, giving 1.875 for X, comma, separated for Y-axis, 1.125. This gives us location for the third circle, which has the radius of 0.5 also, similar to the first one. At this point, we need to draw two lines tangent to these circles on the left side rather. Drawing the line. Before I select that point, now my grid snap is set to snap, and as you see, moves from point to point exactly precisely. I want to disable that snap, grid snap, by pressing F9 key. Instead, we want to activate tangent feature by holding the shift, right click, and selecting tangent. We need to repeat this for every single point of tangencies. Remember, if you want to not to repeat this option of holding the shift and right click, you can set to automatic settings and have all of them cleared out and have tangent only. The rest of them are cleared and tangent, and then OK. This way, you can press Enter to repeat the first one, or select the line again. This time I don't have to repeat that object snap selection. You can just select the circle, it's going to automatically. But you have to remember, when you finish that, go back to the object snap settings and uncheck that box next to the tangent and have your regular settings. Normally endpoint, midpoint, endpoint, midpoint, and center point probably would be good. And also quadrant, you can have all those as you need. For this part, you have seen this before, that arc would not be a good option for the situation that where we have this tangent arc to these. The arc works well when you have connected exactly to the quadrant, but not any other points other than quadrant. So for that reason, we do not use circle and arc, we instead use circle. Let's use the circle, tangent, tangent, radius option. This one is built-in tangency, so you don't have to activate your tangent object snap. Select the point on the circumference of a smaller circle and the larger circle. Just approximate point, and then once you type the radius, which is 1.5 in this case, it's going to give you that exact tangent point as you notice here. We repeat this one more time. Selecting the circle tangent radius, selecting point 1 and point 2 on that approximate position, and pressing enter to accept default, which is from the last. I typed 1.5 and it still shows 1.5 inside the bracket. So by pressing enter, accept that value. At this time, we need to do trim tool. Use the trim tool and select the trim tool. In order to avoid all these little pieces, you can define the cutting edges by selecting cutting edge subcommand and selecting these circles first, and then press enter, and then select the object to cut. So this way. Now here we did not define these yet, so press enter to end and repeat this trim command. This time I'm going to select the cutting edges option and select the 2 arcs and 2 lines. This way we can trim this one. Even if you don't select the cutting edges, it still would work, but I just want to have that option that you learn in case you have to. Okay, now this is the outline of this piece is created precisely. Next, we want to create that polygon. The polygon here is given in the same center of the circle, which is arc right now. We go into the polygon tool under the draw, select the polygon, and select the number of sides, which in this case 6. Remember, the dimension is given across flats. That means we have to use circumscribe. So now it's defining the center by highlighting that, selecting the center exactly. My object snap center was on, automatically pick the center. Now between the inscribed and circumscribed choice, we will select circumscribed because flat to flat measurement is given. So radius of this, remember it always asks for radius, not diameter, is, if flat to flat is 1.5, radius would be half of that, which would be 0.75. And that gives you the position that is correct. So that's what exactly is positioned here. The flat is on the top. So you don't have to do any rotation at this time. The next, we finish this by adding these 2 circles by selecting circle diameter option, if you like, center diameter. And the center of this is the same center of the arc. Their concentric relations exist between those. So it's asking for diameter, which is 0.5. We repeat this by selecting again from center diameter option, defining the center point, which is concentric with this arc, and accepting that 0.5 as a diameter. That completes your drawing. Now, the next video, we will show how to add proper dimensions to this assignment.